Focus and Flourish has a free on-demand workshop on bandaging. In this workshop, you'll learn about the different layers of the bandage, the order in which they must be applied, and how to adjust them in order for the bandage to better fulfill its function. Of course, we'll talk about follow-through and how to avoid the minefield of potential issues that can come up with bandaging. Hi, my name is Dr. Anne Sylvestre. I'm a board-certified veterinary surgeon with Focus and Flourish. Today, we're going to talk about slings. They are not used that commonly in clinical practice, but this video contains some crucial and important information for when you do apply a sling. Please watch till the end. The primary goal of a sling is to prevent weight bearing. Now, some of the slings will also prevent or hinder motion in the shoulder or hip joint, but they don't fully immobilize the joint. The point of a sling is to prevent weight bearing, so use it with that intention. When should you use a sling? Well, when you want to prevent weight bearing, of course, but mostly you're going to use to protect a more proximal joint from the consequences of weight bearing. So a shoulder or hip typically will end up in a sling if you have to prevent weight bearing, and that will be a Velpeau sling for the shoulder and Ehmer sling for the hip joint. The elbow and stifle joint to some degree as well. So the Carpal Flexion bandage will help prevent weight bearing of the elbow and shoulder also, but used mostly for elbow issues. And the 90-90 or Robinson sling will help prevent weight bearing and is usually used for a stifle. Can also be used for a hip injury. The more distal joints, we're going to protect them with maybe a more standard bandage or sling. Why? Because they are actually a little easier to manage and they're easier on the patient. How do you create a sling? I'm going to talk in general terms here, and I have videos that are to follow to show you how to apply the various slings that I've spoken about. Mostly with the sling, you are going to use just adhesive tape. You are going to drop the padding and the cling altogether, and you're going to use a non-elastic adhesive tape. So usually that white tape that we all have too many rolls of in our clinical practices. And you're going to apply the tape directly to the skin, to the hair and the skin. Yes, directly to the hair and the skin. So realize that removing the sling can sometimes be more difficult than applying the sling. Plan accordingly, depending on your patient's personality, how hairy they are, where the sling is. Sometimes it can be a little bit tough to remove. The key, I think the most important thing about a sling is never more than 14 days. To me, the ideal is 7 to 10 days. Otherwise, you may start causing other problems associated with this type of bandaging with the sling. 7 to 10 days is your ideal, no more than 14. The types of slings that are commonly used for the forelimb, it will be the Velpeau, which is applied more as a bandage than the sling that I just described. The Carpal Flexion sling. In the hind limb, there is the Ehmer sling, which is probably the most commonly applied sling, but also the Robinson and the 90-90 sling. Have a look at the videos to see how exactly these slings can be applied. For more in-depth information on bandaging, follow the link below to access our free on-demand workshop called Bandaging: Form, Function, and Follow-Through. It's free.